can't remember when I first decided I wanted to make pins. You know, I been a jeweler for so many years, I didn't realize how much fun a guy can have with different projects. And you know, years ago, pins were a big item in the jewelry store. You went to a jewelry store to get a fine pin for a gift. Don't see that much anymore. I don't know. Doggone it, Ron. I cut this before I was thinking. I think maybe I would have been better off if I would have just cut 3/4 inch all the way down and then cut away the bad parts, instead of cutting a small block and having to figure out a way to get that through the saw. Well, either way it'll work, but I wish now I would have left that whole piece. So anyway, this video is for Ron and for my viewers out there. I'm going to attempt to make a pin and ink pens. I have a wood lathe that I just purchased here a while back, and enough equipment to set up for pin making. I think this should go back into the jewelry stores, and maybe the finer jewelry stores carry them. I'm not sure, but I don't think anything around our area. This particular piece is called Monkey Pod, and it was sent to me by a friend that I made through YouTube, and this this is going to be a little bit of an adventure, since I haven't made anything with a lathe in 50 years. So we'll give it a try. Well, this evening I went ahead and cut some pieces of Monkey Pod. They're about 3/4 by 3/4, not quite, and damaged my thumb. When I was cutting them on the cutoff saw, I had one that was forward of the saw blade, and it snapped, caught it, and boy, I'll tell you what, it nailed that thumb. So that's a lesson to, well, note not to do again. No repeat on that one. So anyway, we'll take these up front, and we'll see if we can drill a hole through one of these and build a pin. Tonight we're doing something a little bit different. I think, as you can see, this is a wood lathe, and not like my metal lathe. And a while back here, I was watching a video with a guy that was making some pins with Monkey Pod. Years and years ago, when I was probably, I'm going to say 10 or 12 years old, my dad had a woodworking shop out in the garage, and it was his dad's workshop. And so I played with a lathe for a little bit. I can't even hardly remember what I was trying to do on a lathe, but I got bored with it fast because I didn't know what I was doing. Anyway, so over the years, all that equipment got lost. His tools got lost, and sadly, I just, you just kids, huh? This is a brand new lathe. I just bought it from Harbor Freight. It's called a Central machine, and I think I gave 4.5 for it. I wanted a variable speed. It's a nice little lathe, really, and you can see a little dust here. I did start to work on this Monkey Pod, which is my first pin. Probably shouldn't start with such a nice piece of wood, but anyway, I'm going to show you a little bit of what I've picked up on YouTube, and watching Ron also make pins, and then there's there's a slug of you out there doing pin turning. So I want to do this for Ron, and we'll see how well this goes, and then maybe I can get this set up a little bit better. We're kind of in a mess right now, but this COVID has just played heck with us, and we're back to a red alert in this city, or state, I guess. So anyway, I won't talk anymore. We'll just step into this monkey pod and see how well it does. So I'm going to use a mask because this stuff does spray dust, and I'm kind of allergic to this wood dust. So anyway, we're going to give this a shot and see if we can make a pin. So I bought a kit, and I bought it from Lathe, or I think that's the name of the company. And I'm going to try a skew. I don't know that I'm mad enough to use this or not. There's a sweet spot with them, and you got to find that sweet spot in the middle, and then you got to. I learned that from shop at high school. So we'll see what goes on. We're slipping a little bit, so I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing, but it's pretty tight. Lathe on this particular style, they recommend that you pull your speed back before you shut it off. And there's a pulley back here that has a V in it, and it expands and contracts. So if you shut it off at high speed, you may not get your lathe to start. And that is one of the problems with it. So I can see we're pinching and peeling right here. So I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. But you see the process, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can turn this down a little further, and then we'll come back to showing you what I'm doing. So bear with me. I haven't done lathe work other than metal work for 50 years. So I'm having kind of fun with this. I was a little nervous because I can't remember exactly how to do everything, but I had a shop in junior high. Mr. Stewart was our teacher back then, and I don't believe I did any woodwork or lathe work. I think I did some metal work in there with metal lathe. I built a cannon, I believe, and that was years and years ago too. So anyway, I'm going to tighten this up just a little bit, and we'll try and trim these pins down a little bit further. So, and we'll keep going. So I'm going to shut the camera down for a little bit and trim this thing up. Well, we've cut her down. Didn't quite come out perfectly the way I wanted it to, but it's really nice. And I've used up to 600 grit sandpaper on this. And then I use, this lathe doesn't have a spindle in the back that I can turn. So I gotta use the front. Yeah. Too lazy to get it up. Pick it up in the morning. Now this is 600 grit, and I'm just going around it. So I had to use an expander wrench in order to turn front of the lathe. See if we can make sure we don't have any sanding marks. Alrighty, so I don't know whether 600 grit's enough or not. I do have these micro pads I bought. So this one's 1200 or 2000, I don't know what it is. Anyway, we can go through these next, I suppose. I played with them a little bit, but so some of these guys use water with these. I'm not sure I like that idea, but this is 3,000 grit. Okay, that should do it. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah. I think that come out pretty nice. I wish I'd have had just a little more slope on this one, but I'm not gonna complain for my first pin. And so we'll be about ready next for put some micro sanding on her. Okay, so I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I don't, maybe I'll tell you what I might do though, is I might do that. Alrighty. Now, I don't know, I'm sure everybody knows this, but I don't like using rags on the lathe, especially a metal lathe, because they are just unforgiving. If you get a rag caught in the spindle, you're in trouble. It'll wrap around your finger and it can take a finger off, or a hand. I mean, it can be dangerous. So, I use a paper towel. And I don't know, maybe everybody is different on that thought, but This is a sanding sealant. Okay, let that sit for a few little bit. And this is friction polish, which I made. So one thing you gotta watch is make sure you shake it before you use it. I found that out. It settles fast. So. Oh, I wish I had done that. Got lucky. All right, we'll give that a few seconds here. Do I have? Okay, so well, we're going to see how well friction polish works, huh? So they say you want to get it till it gets hot. Okay. And that is starting to look nice. Again, this is called Monkey Pod. A guy from Canada, Ron, was nice enough to ship me some of his. And the nearest place we can get any exotic wood is in Omaha, Nebraska. 150 miles from Grand Island, so I don't get up there very often. So I'm real pleased to have gotten this, and we'll just kind of keep going with it. Tell you what. Hot, ouch, hot. Well, that'd be first coat. definitely gets hot on your fingers. And we'll wait for a few seconds here. That would be second coat. Man, it gets hot fast. That'd be third coat. It's fourth coat. I was thinking putting like 5 or 6 coats on. See why they call that friction polish. Wow, that hurts. Man, that gets hot fast. There's 5 coats. We'll put one more on there. Well, let's see what we got. I don't know, what do you think, Ron? If you get the chance to see the video, I think we'll call her good. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll put one more coat on here. Boy, this has come out in line. I just love that monkey pod. Don't you think that's looking good? So, for a first timer, I'm sure, you know, let's try one more coat. All the way up. Now, if you didn't catch the fun of this, I made my own friction polish, and it's 1/3 denatured alcohol, 1/3 shellac, and then 1/3 boiled linseed oil. It's a lot. It's kind of pricey to start with, but it's reasonable because I can make a gallon of this. And I suppose the shelf life and all that's about a year. So we better make a lot of pins, huh? Well, that's 7 coats. Now for good measure, we'll do one more. Then we'll put this pin together and we'll be done with it. I'm going to have to finish my backup here. This is my little shop. This is the back room of the shop, and this is the warehouse back here. And want to put the old lawnmower and the gas and the snowblower and all that back there. Get it out of the student area. think that's probably as much as it's going to hold. Now, like I said, in watching some of the YouTube videos, I see they use can't think of the name of this stuff now. CA glue, and I don't have any. I've got some plastic. I can cut some parts on the lathe and make a setup for this, and I might do that. But I'm not familiar enough with CA glue to make it work yet. So, and I'm not sure you use it on wood. It looks like they use it on acrylic quite a bit. So, well, should we look? Alrighty. See if we can get a closer pics. That's what she's going to look like. So, well, that's pretty. Just love that monkey pod. Ron, a million thanks to you. We'll put this pin together in the other room and up in the shop, and I'll give you a look at the finished product. So, a million thanks again for sending that all the way from Canada to me. Hope you're doing fine up there. You probably have snow. Looks like we're going to be nick and tuck with this election. This is the 4th going on the 5th. This is late night, so it'd be nice if we could have an honest election, but it just doesn't seem possible anymore. So I don't know what's going to be the outcome of ours, but whatever it is, I'm sure we'll live with it. So anyway, many thanks to anybody who wants to watch our videos. I have another video too that I might slap on here, and it's a bee video. I have honey hives out at my son's farm, and my oldest son and I attend them, and we got 5 kids that help us with it. And we harvested the honey usually just once a year. A lot of people get them twice, but we have only two hives left, and I hope maybe next year we'll have 4. But anyway, they have a lot of fun in the summertime, and I've never been stung, but my son's taken it 3 times now. He's just unlucky, I think. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll get back to you when we put this pin together. So everybody have a nice evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Now, I thought I bought these pins from Lee Valley, but I guess I bought them from Berea brand, and believe it or not, this has absolutely no instructions with it. It's just a package with the parts. So I'm going to look at my Lee Valley package, because I think it's got some instructions with it, and hopefully this will be about the same. So we'll continue here. Okay, now I just squeezed the transmission in. Doesn't work quite as well. This handle's not strong enough. Well, it's strong enough, but it's just not, I don't have enough control on the lever. So we got to do a little something different there. Or I got to build a screw-in threader, which wouldn't be a bad way to go. You know, I could re-tap this, re-drill it, and thread it, and then put a crank on that. Maybe that would be the way to go. I could put a 24 thread per inch on. So, well, we'll see how the rest of this goes. Okay, transmission's in, and we've got plenty of pin sticking through there. So a few things I'm going to do different on the next pin. So now the problem I got here is I don't have the tripod up here. I got it in the back in the student room. So I can't really show you what I'm doing, except that it's done the same way everybody else does it, I'm quite sure. So, well, there you have it, Ron, a completed pin. I hope you enjoyed this little video I made. And once again, I wanted to thank you for the monkey pod. And it was a real treat. Even though I boogered up my thumb, I did such a dumb thing with that cutoff saw. So I suppose I have a bandsaw out at my son's farm, but I think what I'll do is just if I make more pins and I'm planning on it, I think I'll just buy a bandsaw. But I want kind of a decent one because I can see that the finer quality bandsaws, the better off you are. So it's like anything, you know, you can buy cheap stuff or you can buy the higher end stuff. So, but I'm sure impressed with this little pin. And once again, thanks for everybody for watching, and you be sure to have a good week.